Hello families, welcome to Storytime. I'm so happy that you are joining me right now. I have some special things to show you, but first let me introduce the book that we're going to be reading. Now, this book was one of Joshua's favorite books, although we do have lots of favorites. I do know I say that a lot, but we did love this book very much. It's called Rip, Squeak, and His Friends. This is by Susan Yost-Filgate and Leonard Filgate. So these are the characters in our story today. And because it has a kitten in it, I wanted to share with you what I just got in the mail. I got a puzzle, and it's a cat puzzle. And I know some of our friends have been talking about Pumpkin and Milo and how they wanted to see them. I want to see them too here, but right now they are not very pleased because I rearranged this front room. I got 2 new chairs from a wonderful friend of mine who was offering them up, and I brought them home and I needed to make space for them, but then it took away their lovely other chair that they adored sleeping on so very much. So right now they're a little sad. But I'm hoping that they'll find that this space is just as wonderful as it was before. So, anyways, the puzzle, I am so excited it came in the mail because I cannot wait to do it. Are you doing puzzles at your house right now? Today, for me, it's a rainy day. So it's a perfect day for doing arts and crafts, maybe making a heart and putting it in your window on the street side where people can see as they're passing by. I have one of our hearts that one of our family, Bo, hi if you're watching, gave this to me for Valentine's Day either last year or the year before, and I've had it and treasured it so much. It's always in my window to give people love. Today, I'm going to make a heart that's colorful and beautiful. I'm going to put it on another window facing the street, and hopefully that's going to spread love to anyone who looks at it when they're driving or walking by. So that's what I'm going to choose to do today. Puzzles and hearts. That's what I'm going to do. Also wanted to show you something that I found with a very special person that I love very much. It's a piece of driftwood. Isn't this stunning? Look at how beautiful this piece of wood is. It was on one of the beaches along the waterfront here in town. And what I do is I sit it right like this on the table, and then I have my candle holder and it fits right in here. So it's like the driftwood is cradling the sunshine or the light and the energy from this candle. And that's how I have it in my front room on my coffee table. So I just wanted to share with you that beauty is in everything. You can find beauty in all things if you just look at it with the right eye, with the eye of love, with the eye of kindness. This is a beautiful thing and I absolutely adore it, and I'll treasure it always. What's also fun about finding things in nature and bringing them into your house to keep them around you is that it reminds you of the person or the place or the time that you collected it, and it gives you a nice warmness in your heart when you look at it, and every day that person or that memory is with you. And so I invite you to maybe find something that you really treasure and put it in a space that's special to you so you can look at it every day. Okay, we're gonna start our story. Oh, I'm gonna get some lavender. I definitely need it the last couple of days. I really needed the calmness of the lavender. Lavender's growing in my front yard actually. And so I'm gonna be picking it and putting it in the house since I'm indoors. It definitely does a lot for me right now, smelling that. I'm gonna light my match, only with a parent, remember. And I'm gonna light our candle. see. Where can you see it? Can you see it right here? Let's hope that it stays right there so you can see. Okay. This is a little bit of a long book, so I hope you enjoy. Rip, Squeak, and his friends. The first picture here is really quite beautiful. It shows a house and what looks like a little forest or trees and a nice beautiful water area, like a lake. Now, at school, we were learning what a lake was. I remember how we talked about an island when we were talking about make way for ducklings. This one is a lake. So a lake is water that is surrounded by land. One morning, the humans left the cottage, taking their suitcases with them. The house was so quiet. Rip Squeak sat at his desk, daydreaming about great adventures. He would occasionally scribble a thought, but soon the sweet aroma of cinnamon tickled his nose and made his stomach growl, and followed the sugary smell into the hall, where he found his sister Jessie. Together, they tiptoed towards the kitchen. "Are you sure all the cats went too?" questioned Jessie. "Don't worry," Rip replied, sniffing the air. "One thing I'm sure of, somebody left a cinnamon bun on that counter. I'll climb up and you get ready to catch it." I'm baking chicken for chicken soup, so you could hear Joshua running to go and turn off the oven so it wouldn't burn. But here's the cottage that they're living in, and then you can see the little mice. That's when they heard the sound every mouse dreads. Meow. Jessie let out a terrified squeal and tightly clutched her doll bunny. Be brave, Rip repeated to himself. He peeked around the corner and saw a kitten crying pitifully. Despite all he had been taught about cats being his enemy, Rip found himself a claw's length from the sobbing kitten. Excuse me," Rip stammered. My name is Rip Squeak." The kitten looked at Rip with startled eyes. It was too late for Rip to worry he might look like a snack to her. "I'm Abby. My family left without me and I'm all alone," she meowed woefully. Rip said soothingly, "You're not alone, Abby. My sister Jessie and I—" "Hey, are you hungry?" Jessie shrieked. "Rip, we're her food!" Quickly, Rip added, I know where there's a cinnamon bun. We could share it with you." "Oh, I love cinnamon buns," Abby exclaimed. Suddenly, Jessie was by Rip's side. "Then you won't eat us?" "Of course not." Abby looked shocked at the idea. "I would never eat my friends." So Abby's the kitten, and she's right here. And Rip is the one in the yellow, and he's closest to Abby. And then Jessie is the little one over here, the little girl mouse. And you see she has her favorite little doll that keeps her company. After breakfast, Abby licked her paws and stated, "I've got an idea. I'll show you the garden." "We've never been there," Rip and Jessie answered excitedly. "Isn't that a dangerous place for mice?" questioned Jessie. "You'll be safe with me," Abby reassured them as she lowered herself to the ground. "Climb aboard and I'll give you a ride." Rip and Jessie hesitated, but only for a moment, and then they crawled on up. "What a view!" Rip exclaimed as they raced to the garden at the speed of a kitten. Once there, they had great fun telling stories and chasing butterflies. "You will have to meet Euripides," Abby told them. "Is Euripides a cat like you?" Rip wanted to know. Abby smiled. "Just wait," she said, and added mysteriously, "He lives at the pond." Suddenly, the sky turned dark and it began to rain. "Meeting Euripides will have to wait until tomorrow," Abby declared as she safely transported the rain-soaked mice back to the cottage. "I love the rain," Jessie announced. "Not me," said Rip and Abby both, as they shook the raindrops off their head. And here they are riding to the garden on the kitten at the speed of a kitten. And here they're playing in the raindrops, or actually in the garden. Rip changed his wet clothes and found Abby waiting for him in the sunroom. "Where's Jessie?" he asked. Abby pointed out the window. Jessie was twirling her umbrella, happy to be back outside in the rain puddles. "Can you tell me who Euripides is now?" questioned Rip. "Tomorrow, oh, gasped Abby as her fur stood straight up. Rip followed her gaze. Two cold, glowing eyes looked out from the bushes and directly at Jessie. Rip frantically banged on the window, but Jessie was lost in her rain dance. She didn't see or hear a thing as the giant yellow tomcat slinked towards her. Without warning, the strangest thing happened. A creature wearing a big hat and cape appeared out of nowhere and pulled Jessie next to him. He swung his sword at the vicious beast. Do you see who Euripides or the friend is right here? It's a Abby joined them, trying her best to look twice her size and 3 times as tough as the intruder. She arched her back and she hissed ferociously. "Scat!" Rip yelled as loud as he could. Then Jessie surprised everyone. She grabbed her fallen umbrella and poked. Pumpkin just come here. And poked the evil-eyed monster right in the nose. Totally confused, the enemy cat turned tail and ran. "He almost got me, but I fought back," Jessie said excitedly as she raced her big brother. "You sure did," Rip agreed as he hugged her close. "We're heroes," Jessie proclaimed. "All for one and one for all," the new friend declared. "Let me introduce myself," he said with a bow. "Call me Ribbit. He frowned and tried again. "Call me your Ribbit. He cleared his throat. "Pardon me a moment." An actor must constantly practice the act of speaking clearly. His tongue began to flutter, and his throat began to vibrate. "Freckled frogs frolic freely," he recited over and over. "Freckled frogs frolic freely." He nodded and grinned. "Call me Euripides." "Abby, are you going to introduce your friends?" he asked. There Jessie is, fighting back to the kitten who is trying to munch her. And here they are, happy that she did not get munched. And I have a little happy kitten here too. He must have known I was reading about kittens. "This is Rip and Jessie," she stated proudly. "I've never met an actor before." Rip confessed as he stepped forward to shake the strange frog's hand. "Well, there's a first time for everything. Rip, I don't know about you, but I think we have earned some tea. There is nothing like a cup of hot chamomile to soothe the nerves after such an ordeal." They sat together on the kitchen counter, sipping tea and listening to Euripides tell stories about his life as an actor. And when they had all recovered from their scare, Euripides pronounced, "You are a wonderful audience, but I must be off to the theater." "It's still raining," Rip reminded him. "Ah, my dear boy, the show must go on." As Euripides made his exit, Abby called after him, "What will we do for the rest of the day?" "Use your imagination. Improvise," Euripides shouted. "What's improvise?" Rip asked. "Why, it's simply making the most of an unexpected situation," he answered, and vanished out the cap door. Improvise, making the best out of an unexpected situation. What do you think about having popcorn for lunch? Is that a way to improvise? Jessie wondered. "It's a Rip agreed. So they popped popcorn and told silly jokes and laughed so hard it hurt. They played a game of hide and seek, and when it was Abby's turn to hide, Rip and Jessie could not find her anywhere. And then they heard a melancholy sound coming from the living room. They found Abby gingerly pressing the keys of the piano with her paws. "What's wrong, Abby?" Rip asked. "Oh, Rip, I miss my family," Abby forlornly replied. Rip wanted to cheer her up. "Please don't stop playing, Abby. If you play a little faster, the piano will make a happy sound, and maybe that will make you happy too." What a good idea he had. Abby's music drew Mr. and Mrs. Squeak into the living room. The lively sound of the piano seemed to cheer Abby up. Then there came a loud thump from the kitchen. Everyone froze, all eyes on the kitchen door. "You must get that cat door fixed," Euripides said, rubbing his backside as he entered the room. "Continue playing, my sweet girl. The matinee was a great success, and I feel like singing happy songs." "I really don't know any other songs," Abby protested. Euripides stroked his silky bow tie thoughtfully. "Continue what you are doing, and we will improvise, of course." He sprang onto the piano and leaned against the sheet music on the stand, and Rip wanted to join him, so he clambered over the keys, making an awful racket. Euripides smiled at Rip, nodded at Mr. and Mrs. Squeak, and winked at Jessie, cuddled next to Abby on the bench. "Just play, darling Abigail, and I'll wing it." As Abby began to play again, Euripides threw back his head and let out a booming operatic voice. No one understood the foreign words he sang, but the sound was beautiful. Rip danced on the keys, and Abby giggled and followed along with him. Their new tune didn't sound half bad. "Lovely harmony," Euripides encouraged. "That's the spirit, dear friends." They danced and sang while the joyful Abby played. In the midst of all of their merriment, Abby lifted her paws off the keyboard. Then suddenly the sudden silence caught Rip in mid-step and Euripides in mid-note, and everyone looked at her questioningly. Grinning from ear to ear, Abby excitedly exclaimed, "I've got an idea!" "I have a surprise for you," announced Abby. "A surprise?" questioned Euripides. "Then I must change into something more appropriate for a surprise." When Euripides returned, everyone wanted to know, "What are you this time?" "Why, I'm a harlequin, of course." "What a quin?" Jessie asked. "A harlequin, a jester, a fool, a clown," Euripides explained, "and I'm ready to go off on Abby's adventure." "All aboard," called Abby, and hold on tight. She bounded up the stairs, stopping in front of a closed door. "This is it," she declared. Abby left her passengers and pushed open the door with one grand sweep of her tail. And there is Euripides. He's dressed up like a clown, or a jester, or a harlequin. Rip, Jessie, and Euripides could not believe their eyes. "Great galloping grasshoppers," Euripides declared. "Oh my," Jessie breathed in wonder. "It's like my birthday," Rip blurted gleefully. "It's everyone's birthday," Euripides agreed. "This is indeed a great adventure, Rip. Since we met Abigail, you, every minute feels like an adventure," he responded. Abby sang out, "You are the best friends. No, you're the best family anybody could wish for." "Let's do some exploring," encouraged Rip, heading toward a shiny train engine. Jessie teased, "This marionette looks a lot like you, Euripides. Did you already know about this place?" He laughed. "Just play, my friends. Life is full of mysterious things, coincidences, and unanswered questions. Look at me, yelled Abby as she tried to balance herself on a ball. We've discovered a whole new world, exclaimed Rip, and to think it was right under our noses the entire time. So they lived in the house for a long time, and now they're rediscovering the wonderful, beautiful things that they have around them. They played until they were too tired to play anymore. The new best friends wandered into the sunroom where Abby contentedly plopped down on a plump pillow for a cat nap. Euripides, Jessie, Bunny, and Rip nestled against her, and the sound of her soft purring lulled them into sleep. As Rip's eyes grew heavier, he realized this day had changed everything. And when he began to dream, he dreamed of the adventures tomorrow would bring. So I invite you today, if it's a rainy day for you today, to find your adventures inside your home, but also during this time, find some things that you have never seen before in the place that you call home. And maybe, just maybe, you can improvise with this beautiful opportunity that we have to spend time together with our families. Let's make the best of an unexpected situation.